Welcome to Burlington City Art's January Family Art Saturday. My name is Jessie, and today we are going to be creating shadow wands. With our art shadow wands, we are going to explore light, sound, and movement. And as we play and explore, we're going to be creating spaces in our homes that feel relaxing and joyful. I'm so glad you're here today because we're going to have a lot of artful fun. Our shadow wand activity connects with BCA Center's Fall 2020 exhibition, CLAY MOHRMAN's Radiant Thought. CLAY MOHRMAN's artwork explores how art in gallery and public spaces can support our well-being. Look closely at CLAY MOHRMAN's sculpture, Radiant Thought. What do you see? What does the sculpture remind you of? How do you think that CLAY MOHRMAN created this sculpture? CLAY MOHRMAN's sculpture, Radiant Thought, is really big. It is 8 feet in diameter and hangs from the ceiling. Clay made this piece by cutting out plexiglass shapes and attaching them with fishing line. He collaborated with a sound artist and an electrical engineer so that the white lights inside the sculpture turn on and off in response to calming and relaxing sounds. The sculpture, the lights, the soothing sounds, the movement that happens because the plexiglass is suspended by fishing line, they all work together to create this sense of calm and relaxation. I love how artists like CLAY MOHRMAN can create work that activate our senses to help us feel a sense of calm or relaxation. What sorts of sounds or movements or feelings or tastes help make you feel calm? It's interesting to think about. I'm excited to make our shadow wands today because with our shadow wands, we can explore ways that we'll use light and sound and movements to activate joyful and relaxing spaces in our own homes. Let's go ahead and get our materials ready so we can start creating our shadow wands. To create our shadow wands, you're going to need some simple materials that you can find around your home. You're going to need a stick, some paper. A lightweight copy paper works perfectly. You'll need a glue stick, some string or yarn, a flashlight, and some scissors and a pencil. This is one of the shadow wands that I have made, and it's comprised of a stick for my wand, and then it's got this long line of paper shapes, and these shapes are what are going to project the shadows, and I'm going to show you how to make all of these things. The first thing you want to do though is select your stick. This is using a natural stick. I know CLAY MOHRMAN uses a lot of found natural sticks in some of his other works, and I thought I would try that. I also had a lot of sticks outside I could easily come across. So a stick will make a wonderful wand handle, but so will a craft dowel. It's perfect sized, it's really lightweight, and even a pencil could be a great handle for a wand. Look around your home and see what you have and something that feels comfortable in your hand that will be able to hang the paper shapes from. You may choose to decorate your handle of your wand. I wrapped this stick with some colorful yarns. I love the soft texture that it adds and the color. On this craft dowel, I just used some simple magic marker and added this rainbow of color. And then I wrapped a little bit in red yarn. A magic marker on a dowel works great because it's like a watercolor marker, and watercolor absorbs so nicely into wood. But I could also use crayons and colored pencils on my handles. The way you decide to decorate your handle is completely up to you. There is no wrong way to do this. Just add color and texture that feel good to you and make a wand that you're excited to use. To wrap the yarn real quick, all I did was cut myself a nice length and then start with a knot. And then I leave a really nice tail here. Ooh. And then with my long part, all I do is just wind it around. And I'll wind it up as far as I want to go. And then I'll wind it back down to the tail. And then I will secure this with a knot. So have fun decorating these wand handles because I love this part of the shadow wands. It's really fun to make. After you've finished decorating your wand, you're going to want to cut a piece of string that we're going to attach as a line so that we can put all of your cut paper and shadow makers on there. I love using yarn or twine or string. I find that thread is a little too lightweight. It tends to tangle as I'm dancing with my wand. But I've got some yarn today and I'm going to cut myself a little longer than an arm's length. And then I'm not going to attach it to my wand yet. I'm just going to set my decorated wand to the side so that I can create all of the paper shapes first. Now that we have our one handle complete and to the side and we've cut our string, we are ready to start creating the beautiful paper shadow makers. And I want to share with you some of the different ways they can look in the end. I've made a few of these shadow ones. The shapes that you decide to create is going to be totally up to you. I'm going to show you a few techniques and you can pick and choose what you want to use. This one's made completely out of white copy paper. I like that a lot. This wand has a lot of shapes with really sharp angles on it, and I like the combination of colors. I even added a few tassels here with the yarn. And then this piece here, I have some flat shapes and some dimensional shapes, and I was able to find some really lightweight, colorful paper to use on this one. For today's shapes, you're going to want some paper. I suggest really lightweight paper. I love using copy paper because the lighter the paper, the easier it's going to flow and dance through the sky. I'm going to make just a simple one-dimensional shape here, and I'll begin by just folding my paper in half. And this will allow me to make two of the exact same shape. And I'm going to draw a shape that I think might project a really nice shadow. Just kind of go with my heart. I've made a curvy shape here. And now that I have my shape, I'm just going to cut it out. All right, so I have this curvy shape and I'm going to add it onto my wand. I've got two curvy shapes because I had a folded sheet of paper. Excellent. All right, so I have my string, I have my two shapes. I'm going to need my glue stick. I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to cover one of my shapes completely. And then I'm going to lay my string, and I would definitely want to leave some of my string without any shapes on it because this is the part I'm going to tie to my stick. But a little further down from the end, I'll find a place. I'm going to put my string right in the center of my shape, and then I will find the way these might line up. Ooh. And attach them. Oh, I have one shape attached to my string, already becoming artful and magical. And I can see how it already has some really nice movement here. I love the way a snowflake shape projects shadows on the wall, and I think they're beautiful with all of their lacy cutouts. I'm going to show you how I like to make a very simple snowflake. You're going to want two of them again. So I'm going to start by folding my paper so I can have two snowflakes. And then I'm going to cut out a circle, best I can. Just going to cut out a round circle shape. So I have a circle. It's definitely not a perfect circle, but it's round. I'm going to take this round shape and I'm going to fold it in half the best I can, matching those edges. And now where I have edges that don't match, I could go ahead and clean those up. So I have it folded just in half like this, and I'm going to fold it one more time, putting my two sides together, like so. Creasing it. And now I have a cone-like shape, and it's got a point on the bottom, a rounded part here, and two straight lines. On this curvy part, I can make it a fancy curve if I want. This is going to be the outside of my snowflake. You certainly could have folded your paper again, but it's a little tricky because we already have two sheets of paper there to cut through this. Then on my straight side, I'm going to cut out a shape. So I'm going to go above my point here. I'm going to snip my scissors in, and then I'm going to snip my scissors in again, meeting that same point, and I've cut a little shape out, just like so. So it's still connected, but there's a little shape out of it. And then on this flat side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to snip my scissors in, and then snip my scissors in, and have another shape cut out. And I'll open my snowflake shape. And again, this will be a simple snowflake because I only folded it 4 times, but it's pretty lovely. Just like our first simple shape, you'll do the same thing. You're going to take your glue, cover one of those snowflake shapes, find the place that you want it on your string, put the string down, cover it with the other one, so that string is now sandwiched between the two shapes, and lovely. It's got such nice movement. I love these shapes that have more than one dimension because, do you see that? They twirl on the line. I'm going to show you how to take a simple shape and to make it go from one dimension to multi-dimension. Okay, let's get started. Same thing as before. We want many of the same shapes. So I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to fold it once in half. I'm going to fold it again. And then I'm going to fold it one more time. It's going to allow me to cut out many of the same shape. I'm going to go ahead and draw with a pencil first, but I want to identify where the crease is on my piece. That's going to be really important. I see that these two flaps open up and this is opened up, but this is my big long crease and this is where I want to draw my shape. I'm only drawing half a shape here. Then I'm going to draw my shape. So this is on the crease side. This is where it's open. Here is half of my shape. Triangle works really well, square works well, any shape as long as it's right along that crease. Now, I'm going to cut out the half a shape. Now, my paper's pretty thick. This is where working with each other can help you out. Let's see what I have. All right, so I've got some hearts. I have 1 heart, 2 hearts, 3 hearts, 4 hearts. Perfect. I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to put it on one of my hearts completely. Just one of them. I've got 1 heart covered in glue. I'm going to find a place on the string, and I'm going to line that string up right on the crease of the heart. Okay. Now, this is where it's a little different than before. I have my heart. It's directly in the center of my string, and I'm going to take a second paper heart. I'm going to attach one side of this heart with the glue. The other side, I'm going to leave up. So I'm going to put one side down, like so. Okay, so this side is still flopping up in the air, right? I didn't glue it down, I just glued one. So now I have one side of a heart, and if I flip it this way, you can see where my string is. And I didn't glue that down yet. If I glued it down, I would have had a flat shape, but I didn't. I left it open. So I've got half of my shape and then an open shape here. I'm gonna take another heart and I'm gonna add glue. I'm gonna go ahead and add glue to both sides of this heart. Now remember, I still have one glue heart left. So I'm going to go to that side that isn't glued down yet, and I'm going to attach one side of my heart to it. Right? One side. And then I can open it up, and I can open it up and still see the center. I've got these two sides that I'm not going to glue together yet. Instead, and they're both a little gluey already, I'm going to take my final heart and I'm going to put it right there. And I've made, and then I'll take all my edges and kind of glue them down really nicely. And then I've got this wonderful shape that has a lot of dimension to it. And it twirls around like so. It's so pretty. Now that you know a few techniques for adding shapes onto your line, you can keep cutting shapes and building them until you're happy. I even went ahead and added a few beads on mine. I've got a couple pony beads and a paper bead from last month's Family Art Saturday. I just wanted to make sure I have a little bit of string left at the top so that I can attach it to my wand handle when I'm done. When you've added all of the shapes and accessories that you want onto your line, you'll want to attach it to your handle. I'm just going to take the end of my string here and tie it onto the top with a simple knot. And then it's done. We have a beautiful shadow wand, and it's time to explore how we can use it with light and sound. So first thing I want to do is explore light and try to make some shadows with all of these shapes. If you have a patch of bright sunlight hitting a wall, that will work, or a lamp, or I have just a flashlight and that's going to help me project some shadows on the wall. You can take your flashlight and shine it against a wall, and then if you hold up your wand in front of it, you can see that it projects some beautiful shadows. Oh, I love them. Look at them dance. I'm not even moving my wand very much, and there's a lot of movement as they just kind of glide across the wall. You can explore what happens when you have your flashlight further or closer to the piece. It's pretty fun. CLAY MOHRMAN incorporated both light and sound. And remember, he was considering what types of movements and light and sound could help him feel relaxed. I think it's pretty relaxing to see our shapes glide across the wall. And I would like to figure out what type of music would make you feel relaxed. What kind of music do you like? What do you like to dance to? See if you can find that music and play it, and then use a flashlight and dancing and see if you can create a room that feels relaxing and joyful. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have had a lot of fun creating a shadow wand with you and exploring light, sound, movement. This is an awesome project to do together as you orchestrate all of those things together. I hope you and your family have fun today creating. I'm going to be back here next month in February 27th, for another virtual Family Art Saturday. Until then, happy creating. Goodbye.